Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge in financial freedom. Today, I've got a few headlines. I'm gonna skip the big one. It's been hit already on Piper Academy, and I've got a special that I'll be doing with Crypto Coin Mindset tomorrow about the whole big news on the Trump announcement of a crypto reserve. So I'll drop that link in the chat for you so you can kind of check that out for tomorrow, because that will be the big news for this whole week. It is why we pumped this weekend. But I kind of want to steer some people over to Crypto Coin Mindset. He does some great content, and we'll be diving extremely deeply into that topic for tomorrow. So make sure to check out Crypto Coin Mindset's channel, and there's the link to that video. So we will dive into that headline tomorrow. Other than that, I have a headline on Apple, because apparently they will be moving to Texas quite soon. They're already in the works of that, and I was quite happy about that. There's a lot that'll be going on in Texas on the tech side of things, and we'll see more and more companies start heading that direction. But let's dive on into the stock heat map for today and get you prepped for some success. We've got the whole stock market looking quite green from its close on Friday. In the pre-market, looking a little bit neutral. We've got Apple sitting up at 1.91 from its close, and the pre-market sitting down 0.22. We've got Nvidia sitting up 3.97, in the pre-market sitting down 0.42. We got Berkshire Hathaway sitting up at 2.27, and the pre-market doing quite all right, up 0.46. We've got Amazon sitting up at 1.7, and the pre-market up 0.85. We've got Eli Lilly sitting up at 1.71, and the pre-market sitting down at 0.17. We've got ExxonMobil sitting up at 1.07, and in the pre-market sitting in that neutral range, up 0.08. We've got Tesla sitting up at 3.91, and in the pre-market almost up 3%. Oh, just hit it, up 3%. We got P&G up 1.09 from its close. In the pre-market, sitting in that neutral range, down 0.26. We've got Microsoft sitting up 1.14, and in the pre-market up 0.32. We've got Google sitting up 1.18, and in the pre-market up 0.98. And Meta sitting up 1.51, in the pre-market up 0.81. Let's hop over to that crypto side of things. We are looking a little bit neutral in some of those top 10s. A few of those are a little bit extra green, though. Still riding on that Trump news pump. We've got Bitcoin up 0.53, Ethereum up 0.56, XRP still making some moves, up 1.44. We got BNB sitting in that neutral range, up 0.26, Solana up 0.86. We've got Cardano sitting up at 2.23, Dogecoin sitting up at 0.61. We've got Tron sitting in that neutral range, up 0.01. We've got HBAR sitting up 0.51, Chainlink up 0.52, Stellar Lumens up 0.96, and Avalanche up 0.68, and SWI also up 0.68. For the economic calendar this week, we've got a bit of heavy data coming out this week. We'll have to keep our eyes on this S&P Global Manufacturing PMI that will be coming out at 9:45 today. That will be Eastern time. We also have a bit of data this afternoon as well, with a few Fed chairs speaking. Kind of something I will be keeping my eyes on, especially with this Trump announcement this past weekend. We also have a unemployment rate coming out of Japan at 6:30 Eastern Time. That will be a big market mover for that Asia time frame. Looking at no change on that unemployment rate, which is quite good for them, especially considering they're at that point where they might have to hike rates again. We will be getting some more data coming out on Tuesday. We'll be getting a lot of heavy data coming out. Where was it? The API crude oil stock change at 4:30 tomorrow. But the big data is going to be on Wednesday. Let's scroll it on down. We got some mortgage rate applications, and we got ADP employment change. That will be a big market mover for this week, as well as the S&P Global Composite PMI. So a lot of these moves for today and tomorrow will be in preparation for Wednesday. Let's hop over to that fear and greed and that liquidation heat map. We've still got the stock side in extreme fear sitting at 20 points, up 1 point though. We do have the crypto side of things still sitting in fear, up 7 points, sitting at 33. So as we're getting a nice move to the upside, we're still a little fearful. We'll kind of have to see how this Monday move plays out. But I do think we get back to that neutral range unless we see a big move to the downside. Let's hop over to that liquidation heat map. For that 24-hour, we've got a lot of liquidity residing to the top side of us. That's going to be a $95,130 for that 24-hour. Zoom that on out just a bit. You can kind of see it's pretty naked on both sides of us. There's not a lot of liquidity on either side on these higher term time frames for that 3-day, that 1 week, kind of looking quite the same. There is a bit to the top side of us at that same $95,000 range. Kind of a nice little area to drag up to, especially if we do see some of the data being a little bit positive, like we did see at the end of the week last week. We did have that personal spending coming in, or personal income coming in quite a bit higher than was expected. This 2 week also looking quite bare. There is a light little hot spot sitting up at 99,600. You zoom that on out to the monthly. That's kind of where you can see we've still got that nice strong hot spot at $100,000. That will be that big area to get back up to and turn into some support. We have gotten above some key levels I've been talking about for quite a while, and we need to turn those into some support. So we'll take a look at that Bitcoin chart and say good morning to the chat. I see quite a bit of people in here this morning. We've got Mike Vollmer, we've got Jesse Gulak. Good morning to you. We've got David Brumbelow in the chat. Good morning. I see Iko in here. Said he needed a coffee break. Good. And be right back. Hope you got that coffee. I did the same thing. I was making lunch and drinking a lot of coffee. Jesse Gulak says it's always coffee time. It most definitely is. That's right, Jesse. I'm almost finished off my first pot. Be time for another soon. Yeah, this is the last of my first pot in this cup right here. So I'm right with you there. Jesse saying he's 5 pots down. Jesus, Jesse, that's a whole lot of caffeine there. Got Donato Cabrera in the chat. Good morning. We've got let's see, Duality Crypto. Good morning. We've got Jay Violet in the chats. Good morning. And I believe I saw Alexandra G. There she is. Good morning to you. I see Crypto Poyo in the chat. Cluck to you. Good morning. And Paul Caruso as well. Oh, I see Arsan246 as well. Good morning. Oh, Crypto Princess in the chat. Good morning to you as well. I know it's afternoon for you, so I hope you've been having a good day so far. Let's hop into this Bitcoin chart. I do have that 4 hour pulled up, and it does look like it's a bit toppy here. We did get up to a key area I was talking about needing to turn back into some support on a higher term time frame, and that's that 94,100. That's right around the area we rejected from. We did kind of make a brief move back down to one of those other key levels I'd been talking about, and that's at 90,800. Quite close to some quite close to the bottom of these wicks here. You could see a little bit more downside though to kind of turn that into some strong support. This whole area is a bit of an area that was support. We got below it and we haven't really turned it into some strong support here. You do have that 1 hour though. That does look like it could be headed back to the upside if we continue to see some money flow coming in. That volume is slowing down just a bit here on that buying pressure. As you can see, we're making lower highs here. The money flow though does look like it's trying to make a brief return here on your higher term time frame. Prime oscillator looking quite red and has cooled off quite a bit here as we've been making that pushback up to 94,100. That could be an area where we see either a rejection or a strong move back to the upside. You do have this 38236 sitting right above us at 95,944, almost at $96,000 range, which would be that next little area to kind of watch. So let's zoom this on in to that 15-minute, see what the morning is bringing our way. And as you can see, the 15-minute does look like it has some more room to run back up to this 94,100. But we're really waiting on that money flow. It does look like it's coming out just a bit here on that 15-minute. Your volume is starting to pick back up as some buying volume, but you've got a lot of divergences stacked up here and not a whole lot of liquidity to really kind of push us back to the upside after we get above this 94,100. That hot spot was sitting right here in that 95 range, right below that 236 on our fib retracement. So that's that real strong area I would look at for a potential rejection to come back down and turn these key areas into some support and maybe continue that move to the upside, especially with how that 4 hour chart was looking, and that 1 hour chart definitely having a little bit more room to run, but it's moving a bit sideways here. 15-minute looking like it's got some potential to continue running, but we've got those divergences really stacked up here. So seeing it cool off, especially after we got a massive move to the upside this weekend. What was that? About a 12% move to the upside off of that news. A little bit of some cool off and continuation would be a nice healthy move to see. I see French Toaster in the chat. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great morning so far. And Darren does things as well. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great morning. All right, let's hop over to one of these news articles I had pulled up. All right, let's go with the Apple one first. Texas is low-cost, high-reward darling of big tech. And this is where you've seen a lot of companies already move to Texas, and it looks like another one is going to be headed that way. Texas notched another technology win this week when Apple said it's planning a new 250,000 square foot factory in Houston to make servers for an artificial intelligence system. Tech investments are transforming the Texas economy, often via companies from California in search of lower taxes and fewer regulations on land use and labor. Austin already has Apple's second largest concentration of employees outside the company's Cupertino, California headquarters. Samsung has a large and expanding semiconductor presence in the state. Earlier this year, Meta moved its trust and safety teams responsible for writing policy and reviewing content from California to Texas and other U.S. locations. Others have moved their headquarters there, including Realtor.com, Tesla, and Hewlett and Packard. in the end, it's all about the cost of doing business, and the cost of doing business is just lower in Texas, says John Diamond, an economist at Rice University in Houston. Recently enacted reproductive policies in Texas, once slammed by business, haven't markedly dented the state's allure. Instead, the state is attracting the kind of tech bro culture that has permeated the Trump's administration led by Elon Musk. He is developing his own town for employees, Snailbrook, near Austin. Musk-led SpaceX has also brought up houses in South Texas village of Boca Chica, near the base of the rocket and spacecraft maker, despite the resistance from locals. Apple has said the Houston facility, which the company will develop with the longtime business partner Foxconn, will open in 2026. Apple didn't say how many people it would continuously employ there, beyond saying it would create thousands of jobs. Asked for specifics, the company declined to elaborate. This is just another big tech company making that move to Texas. So we will kind of have to watch as we see more and more of these companies flooding to these places where they get lower taxes and they have a little less regulation on land use. Another great place to watch is going to be Tennessee. You've already seen several companies make their move there, especially on the news side of things. So definitely something I've been watching. The other headline I had pulled up was about the Bybit hackers. So Bybit hackers resume laundering activities, moving another 62,200 ETH. North Korea Lazarus Group laundered another 62,200 Ethereum worth $138 million from the February 21st Bybit hack on March 1st, leaving only 156,500 left to be moved, a pseudonymous crypto analyst noted. Approximately 343,000 Ether of the 499,000 Ether stolen from the 1.4 billion Bybit hack has been moved, said ex-user Ember CN, who expects the remaining funds to be cleared in the next 3 days. The 343,000 Ether moved equates up to 68.7% of the stolen funds, up from 54% on February 28th. Ember CN previously noted the laundering activities had slowed amid the efforts of the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigations, calling on node operators, crypto exchanges, bridges, and other block transactions linked to the Bybit hackers. The FBI shared 51 Ethereum addresses operated by or linked to the Bybit hackers, while blockchain analytics firm Elliptic has flagged over 11,000 crypto wallet addresses possibly linked to them. Crypto forensic firm Chainalysis said the hackers had converted portions of the stolen Ether into Bitcoin and the DAI stablecoin and other assets through decentralized exchanges, cross-chain bridges, and instant swap services without Know Your Customer protocols. One of these protocols included the chain asset swap protocol Thorchain. Developers said the protocol had received heavy criticism for facilitating a significant share of transfer made by the North Korean hackers. One of Thorchain's developers, known as Pluto, said they would no longer contribute to the protocol after a vote to block North Korean hacker-linked transactions were reverted. In note of Cointelegraph, Thorchain founder John Paul Thorbinson said he no longer has involvement with the cross-chain protocol, while pointing out that none of the sanctioned crypto wallet addresses listed by the FBI and the Treasury Office of Foreign Assets Control have interacted with the protocol. So just some more money moving from that hack. Kind of gonna have to watch to see where those addresses might be moving that money. A lot of those are going to be without KYC, but that doesn't mean they can't be tracked, and we will have to see if some of these white hackers can kind of give us some more information, especially since there is that 10% reward on that earnings. That's a big chunk of change as a reward there. Does anyone have any alt requests they'd like me to take a look at today? I've got plenty of time. I hadn't had a whole lot I had been looking at this weekend. You know, crypto has been moving quite heavily, and I thought we can kind of focus on those alt requests and see what we might be looking at for the week, especially with how bullish things are kind of looking right now, given the data has not really kind of hampered things going so far. We did hit some key areas of support and we've kind of started moving back up. Even gold has got a nice little move back up, sitting back at one of those key levels I was talking about for last week. We will need to turn that 2,876 into some strong support here to kind of get back up above to the top side of our range. It does look like it's got a little bit more room to run here before you might see a little bit of a pullback happen, especially with that 1 hour getting a little bit of a double top here on your prime oscillator. 4 hour also looking quite sideways as it has crossed that MACD indicator line on the bottom, but our prime oscillator also moving quite sideways as your money flow is continuing to come out on gold. So really gonna need to turn these into some strong support and let these oscillators really get that strength as money flow tries to come back in. That 15-minute looking quite nice here as it is having continued money flow coming on in. Your volume has really slowed up quite a bit on that selling volume, and your MACD looking like it might need to cool off just a bit here as we get back up to key levels to really continue that move to the upside. How about a 1 day on BTC? I can most definitely do that one. We'll add that to the list. BTC 1 day. And I see SWI and XRP and Solana. So SWI, XRP, and Sol. All right, I can definitely do those. Wow, XRP moving quite nice. Yeah, it was one of those coins listed by Donald Trump. I was quite surprised to see it on the list, but you know, it is a solid project. It's been around for quite a while, so not too unexpected to see that on the list. I was quite surprised to see in the initial post that Bitcoin and Ethereum were not listed at all, which kind of made me a bit angry. It's like, how are you going to talk about a crypto reserve and not list the king and queen of crypto? And you had to make a whole nother post. It was like, of course Bitcoin and Ethereum will be in there. I love Ethereum. Of course you love Ethereum. The exchange that you're partnered with owns so much Ethereum. But that's for tomorrow's show on Crypto Coin Mindsets channel. So make sure to tune into that one. We've got ADA requested as well. We can definitely take a look at that one. Those were a lot of those. That's the 3 assets listed by Trump. We got XRP, Sol, and ADA was listed. We can kind of take a look at Ethereum as well. We've got let's hop over to the Bitcoin on the 1 day. All right, we've got that 1 day looking like it's got a bit of some room to run here. It definitely getting that curvature back up on some money flow, still sitting in the red. So if we do see a bit of a continuation to the downside here, would look back at those strong areas of support here. You have a bit of a range down below us, sitting at about 91,000 all the way down to 89,200, which is a very strong buying level that goes from the start of the range back here and the bottom of this wick here. You did kind of create a giant fair value gap here as well. Let's get that kind of drawn out on top of it. It'll be a little bit messy, but you'll kind of get to understand here what the giant range we're looking at there, which is quite in line with that buying box that I had drawn out. That midline is kind of coming in at the bottom side of that range. There is a little bit of an area, but you can kind of see here the mid range of that buying box is almost 90,000. The mid range of that fair value gap there is 89,700. So just a bit of a range there where we would come back down to and create some higher lows in this range and really continue to the upside. You have that 382, which is right below there, which you could also kind of hit as well if you do see continued money flow coming out on that shorter term time frame, to wait for that strong buying pressure to be found at these lower levels. We did move through all of this quite quickly, and it is a CME gap as well, because all of that price action happened on the weekend. I can kind of pull that up. Let me get to, there we go. Got a giant CME gap sitting right here, starting at 84,900 and coming all the way up here to 93,520. So a giant CME gap, the middle of 89,100 there. So definitely looking like a bit of a range to come back down to. A lot of TradFi is going to want to retest those price levels since they missed out on them. And you normally see that boat getting brought back for big money. Definitely looking like you have potential to run, though, on that 1 day, as that MACD is right at that indicator line, looking to cross to the upside. Prime oscillator still sitting a light red here. We do have our first reversal signal, waiting for that money flow, though. That's going to be that key. That's where I'd look for those key strong levels right below us to really have that money flow coming back in with some strength. We've got SWE requested. Let's hop over to my alts. I do have XRP already pulled up, so let's dive into XRP, and then we'll go to SWE. All right, you can see we lost one of those key levels I was talking about for XRP. It moved up quite strongly with, just like Bitcoin. Not really Ethereum, but we did see Solana and ADA get that same strong move to the upside. They got up to some key levels, tried to turn them into some support, and then lost them quite quickly. We're now sitting below the 236 on our fib retracement here. That's that $2.71, which we will need to get back up to and turn into some support. You do have that 1 hour looking like it has some potential downside to continue on before we really see that strong money flow coming back in. That buying volume has slowed up quite a bit here. As you can see, it has now went to light red, and we're looking for a little bit of a continuation to kind of bottom out and wait for that money flow to come back in as these oscillators cool off. Let's see, we've got that 15-minute and the morning looking like here. It does look like it's got a little bit more room to run back up to this 236, that $2.71, before you might see that bit of a stronger rejection if we don't see very, very strong money flow coming in to buy things up. You have a bit of a range up here, which you can kind of get up to. That's at $2.80, which is that strong area of resistance since we were unable to turn it into some support. Let's take a look at our 4 hour there. Kind of see where we're sitting. 4 hour also kind of toppy. Prime oscillator is red. We got that reversal signal and those overboughts. Your volume is also slowing up quite heavily as some buying volume. Your MACD running quite sideways here. We have that data drop coming out this morning at 10, and that will be manufacturing PMI. You might get a little bit of a boost off of that. That'd be that first little news drop I'd look at for potentially pushing things back up to the top side. You have a bit of a range down here where we could kind of tap on. That's going to be, let's get that drawn out with a horizontal ray. It's going to be that $2.52. We did see some strong bouncing off of that level back there. That'd be a short-term time frame bounce zone I would kind of look for. We got XRP knocked out. Let's take a look at SWE. Let's scroll on down and get SWE pulled up. SWE got a nice little move up to one of those key levels I was talking about last week, and it really rejected quite the same way. We're now back below that golden pocket, looking to kind of push back up and turn that into some support. The 4-hour does have a bit of a continuation to the downside that it could see. He wanted to pump his SOL, XRP, and ADA bags. That's why. Wanted to pump first, says Arsan. Yeah, that's probably why that order got dropped like that. But of course, Bitcoin got that strong pump off of that news no matter what. Because I think everyone just assumed if there was going to be a crypto reserve, that Bitcoin's on that list. It'd kind of be a little weird to see all those other altcoins get added to a crypto reserve and then Bitcoin get left out. So Steve Hickey says Solana. Yep, I can most definitely do that one. All right, let's hop into this SWE real quick. We've got that 4-hour looking like it's got a little more cool off to do. MACD looking more down than some of these other assets to see us come back to some strong levels here, kind of make some equal lows, take out a bunch of those at about $2.78. Be a strong little bouncing point to see on our shorter term time frames to really continue that up. We do see this golden pocket being some strong resistance here, and you've got strong resistance back up at that $3.18, which is that key level I really wanted to see us turn into some support. A lot of the crypto market has done the same, got back up to some key levels, and then really rejected to the downside off of them. We do have that 1 hour looking like it does have a little bit more room to come down before you really see that strong move back to the upside. You've got that 1 hour sitting way down here at the bottom on SWE, looking for a bit of some curvature to come in. We do have your volume looking quite red here as it is slowing down on the volume. So to see some quick money flow coming back in could really switch that on the 1 hour. You do have that 15-minute looking like you might see that continuation to the downside. It is quite overheated here as we have been moving sideways. Volume is starting to pick up as some buying volume though. So really looking for that strong bouncing point here, kind of like the rest of the markets. That's where I'd look quite strongly to the bottom side, $2.78 to really get that strong little push back to the upside, especially with the bit of curvature you are seeing here on your MACD with very little width from that indicator line, looking quite sideways. So really waiting on that money flow to come back in on those shorter term time frames. 5-minute also looking quite toppy there. So that would be that indication that in the short term time frame you might see that strong bouncing point to the bottom side. You could just be cooling off to move sideways though, as we do have a bit of a range where we've been sitting at this order block. So if we do maintain some of that money flow there, that's kind of the order block right here. Let's make that green. As you can kind of see, we are bouncing around in that order block. We are sitting at the midline of that order block where we saw all of that wicking action from back here. You've played around with the midline of it, came back down to the bottom, and are looking to really do some battle with that midline. If you are unable to turn that into some strong support there, you might come back down move back on up with some money flow as these oscillators really cool off. Sideways movement is is a better to see on the cool off than that strong move to the downside, but keep your eye out on that strong move to the downside to really draw in that money flow. All right, I see Lunar Beaches in the chat. Good morning to you. He's Jesse Gulak saying smash that like button. What was Lunar Beaches saying? He says good morning, alumni. I feel like BTC should be in its own reserve. All the alts in another. Either way, I'm happy though, says French Toaster. Most definitely, we had kind of talked about that on Crypto Coin Mindsets channel, that we should kind of have Bitcoin be at least the majority of that. So if you have a Bitcoin sitting at like 80% of your reserve, and then you have all your alts making up that other 20%, get those massive gains off of your alts, and then you have that nice strong stability that your dollar will need with a reserve asset. So definitely looking for Bitcoin to kind of be the king of that reserve, and we'll kind of have to see. This has all just been released. There hasn't been a date as when this will be actually coming out, so that's kind of why I've been waiting. Lunar Beaches says as long as it doesn't include meme coins, I'm good. I can most definitely agree with that one, and it looks like they might not include meme coins for now. So I know there was a lot of news last week with the SEC and their stance on meme coins, but I think for now we will see meme coins be in that degen thing, and they will stay out of the reserve. But this is all brand new news, and we'll kind of have to follow it as it comes along. All right, we did take a look at SWI. Let's take a look at some Solana. Any other alt requests you'd like me to take a look at? I've got plenty of time. I wanted to really focus on the charts this morning, especially with the news that we had seen. So let's dive into Solana on a higher term time frame and then break it on down. We've got that 4 hour looking quite toppy, just like the rest of things. Moving sideways, just like Bitcoin on that MACD on the 4 hour, as your money flow is starting to come back out just a little bit. Volume slowing down here as you zoom that on in. You can kind of see your volume has topped out on that buying volume. Looking for a little bit of some slowdown. Cool off these oscillators. We got right up to some key levels. That was that 181 I had talked about needing to turn into some support, and we dropped down below another key level. That was that 164. A lot of everything is looking quite the same on the crypto side of things, waiting on a very strong level of support. Aiko says, same pattern. Yeah, and that's something you will notice quite a bit in crypto, especially when you get those news pumps. We start to see a lot of the same patterns on Bitcoin as you do on the altcoins that kind of pumped, and that's something I've noticed quite a bit too. It does make it easy to trade though. So if you do see Bitcoin making some of the same patterns as some of your altcoins, and you want bigger gains, maybe trade the altcoin that is making that same pattern, because it does give you those exponential gains. Let's take a drink of coffee and then dive back into that chart there. So Solana on that 4 hour does have a little bit more cool off. It could be making, you'll have that 1 hour getting that nice little curvature back to the upside. Steve Hickey says Solana future. Yeah, and that should be heading our way quite soon. Those Solana futures are supposed to be listed by the CME group coming here soon. I don't know the exact date on that. I'll kind of have to dive on into that one later this week. I do have a news article I wanted to touch on that, but there's a lot of news that came out this weekend, and so I was doing a lot of prep for other shows as well. So kind of wanted to stick with the news articles I had found at the beginning of the week and then really roll out the rest of those articles as the week goes forward. So we'll kind of have to see there. You can see we found some heavy resistance off of some of the same moving averages that we have along with the rest of these assets. That nice 400 moving average was a strong resistance area. We are sitting above the 200 though, so that is a bit bullish. You do have your prime oscillator looking like it's cooled off quite strongly as we dropped below these key areas that I wanted to see us turn into some support. That's going to be that $163 where we really got that strong wicking action to the bottom side here on that 1 hour. This is a bit of a fair value gap, so to come in and test that middle of 165 and then drop back down to that key area of support and really launch back up to the top side would be a move to see. Money flow is quite strong here on this 1 hour. You can kind of see us moving a bit sideways here as we try to cool off these oscillators. MACD's getting some nice strong curvature with very little width from that indicator line, as that indicator line is also getting that curvature back to the upside here. So definitely has some room to run on that hourly. Let's zoom on in to that 15-minute, see what the morning is bringing our way. We have been doing a bit of some battle with that key area. You do have your MACD looking like it's got some more room to run for the morning. Your prime oscillator is getting a bit overheated as your money flow is starting to come out though. So looking like you might do a little bit of some battle here at this brief little area below us and $151 if you don't have some strong money flow coming back in. That's where this money flow does look like it might roll back over and continue on some selling pressure instead of really continuing to the upside. Kind of a lot like the rest of the assets we've taken a look at so far. Would really depend on that shorter time money flow. It does look like it's trying to push back up to that key area right now, but you can kind of see here, even on that 5-minute, you do have a lot of selling on that money flow. So right back up to some of those key levels we were looking at. We do have ADA requested as well. Let's take a look at that. I see Knox Bill in the chat. Good morning to you. Hope you are having a great day so far. Sassy Academy, if you don't hit the like, they're going to get a Nightbot. Then we're all in trouble. Oh, that's quite a funny one there. Let's hop into that ADA chart.
I'm not quite sure how to
Oh,
help you with that.
I don't know why my Alexa just decided to chime in there. We do have ADA looking quite strong as well. Let's hop up to that 4 hour. It did get that same move that everything else did, but the move that it got above way more key levels than a lot of these other assets did. We are sitting right below that $1 and psychological level. Let's get some of these zoomed on in so we can see a little bit better there. There we go. And you can kind of see here, we got that strong push off of that 63 cents. I said I wanted to see us turn back into some support. And then we just launched through all of the key levels that I've been talking about. You had that, it's 76 cents. Smashed through 81 cent, smashed through, and then this last little area I wanted to see us turn into some support on a shorter term time frame. Absolutely smashed through at 87 cents. And you can kind of see here we lost that the 236 on our fib retracement, and we've come back down to the 382 to try to find a little bit of a bounce. That 4 hour also looking quite sideways here, just like the rest of the assets we have really taken a look at for today. You know, not too surprising as all of those assets were the ones listed. We have XLM requested. Definitely have time for that one. Let's get that one added to the list. And I don't know if you noticed, but I hit the M button and it didn't mute myself because I fixed that. No more muting myself on that one. Just wait till he gets you in timeout, JV. Oh no. I see Jeffrey Stonecipher in the chat. Good morning to you. All right, let's see what we might see on these shorter term time frames on ADA, because I might look back down at that lower level I was taking a look at. As you can see here, this 1 hour we rejected quite nicely off of that 20 moving average. So looking for a little bit more downside here, coming back down to this 382. That's going to be that 94-cent range. If we were unable to hold that, I'd really come back down and look at 87 cents. That'd be a very strong area of support, but this 1 hour does look like it has some potential to keep running. So that's where I might look at that 94-cent range to really see if we can pick that money flow back in, have that money flow coming back in here on these higher term time frames, that 1 hour and that 4 hour. That 4 hour looking quite indecisive as it was moving sideways, and your 1 hour has really cooled off here as you've been moving around in this range. You have that 15-minute and the morning looking like you might see a little more downside. You are making some higher lows here, but rejecting off of that 50 moving average there and trying to hold this 100 moving average as some strong support, but it does look like you might lose that. Your volume is starting to pick up as some selling volume here on the 15-minute. Your prime oscillator getting that curvature back to the downside. That MACD also getting that curvature back to the downside here. So looking to kind of cross that indicator line on the bottom side of things. Maybe continue a little bit of sell off to draw in some of that buying pressure. 5-minute already hitting that cross of our indicator line on the top side and trying to get that curvature back up. We'll kind of have to see if we can break above that dollar, that psychological dollar. If you are unable to, that's where I'd really look a little bit lower, especially with how some of those higher term time frames were looking. We did have XLM requested. Let's scroll it on down, take a look at XLM. Getting that same strong move up to the upside. We got up to that 50% fib line on our retracement, looking to kind of turn some of these lower levels into some support. Let's zoom that on out to the 4 hour and see where we might find some strong bouncing. You have a bit of a wick action from down here, 31 cents, which would be a nice strong level to kind of come back and retest. That 50% fib is looking like some strong resistance right now. So with how your MACD is looking, it is a little bit different than the rest of those assets I had looked at, where the MACD and your indicator line are moving quite sideways together. This one is getting that curvature back down. Your prime oscillator also looking quite red, getting that strong curvature back down. Your volume holding quite steady as some buying volume here on the 4 hour. So got a bit of a potential to come back down and turn some of these lower levels into some support. We did get a brief little bounce off of that 100 moving average, looking to try to get above that 200 and really look a little bit bullish. Let's kind of see what these shorter term time frames are showing us. You have those moving averages quite constricted here as you're looking for a potential bounce to the upside. Looking quite cooled off on our prime oscillator, but your MACD's got a little bit more room to run before you see that strong curvature. All of your candles are red here, but they are starting to lighten up and decrease as well. So looking for that little bit of a strong bouncing level to the bottom You do have a little bit of a range, that 31.89 down to 30 cents, which would be that strong area I would look for a bounce. If you are unable to maintain that, look at that golden pocket again. That's going to be 29 cents, where you'd really see that strong bounce to the upside. K Diggity in the chat. Did not see his name there. Well, good morning to you, K Diggity. Since when Cass become a meme? Oh no, what you doing in the chat, Lunar Beaches? We can take a look at Caspa. I mean, it is a bit of a utility, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. I did get my gains off of Caspa, and I sold off, and then I never looked at the project again. Quite like a lot of those altcoins that I bought up at the beginning of the cycle, and when everything pumped, I kind of just sold off a bunch of stuff, and then was waiting for that move back into Bitcoin, which I did quite heavily. All right, we do have that 15-minute looking a bit toppy. But unlike some of those other assets I had taken a look at, you do have it looking like it can continue to run. You're not getting that curvature here on your prime oscillator or your MACD, looking to curve back to the upside here as your volume is starting to turn into that light red, indicating you might see some buying pressure coming in on the shorter term time frame. Let's see what that 5-minute was looking like. You do have it looking like you might see that sideways ranging we had talked about on some of our other assets here to kind of cool off these oscillators. It has been waffling around here from red to light red to green, but we are getting that curvature back down. So to kind of retest some of these areas here where you've got a bit of an order block, we did kind of bounce around at the bottom side, and we moved through from the top side quite heavily. So to come down and retest some of the bottom side, let's get it drawn out there. That's where that order block kind of sits. We are at the bottom side, unable to get to the top side like Solana that we had looked at. So that midline being 33 cents would be that you can see we got that strong rejection off of it and came back down to the bottom. We're looking to kind of hold that range there. So we can move a little bit sideways here and wait for that oscillator to really cool off on that 15-minute and bring some money flow back in. If not, look back down to that 31-cent range. All right, there was XLM. Any other alt requests? Caspa. All right. Can take a look at Caspa. I don't even think that's on my favorite list anymore. Nope. Oh, it is still on my favorite list. Look at that. Caspa below 10 cents. Ugly. Let's zoom it on out. Take a look at that 4-hour. Caspa not getting crap for a move off of all that bullish news this weekend. You can kind of see it's been waffling around at that golden pocket. Kind of lost that golden pocket very briefly, got that move back to the upside. MACD looking to try to break that zero line here as your prime oscillator is getting a bit of some cool off and looking to kind of move sideways. You've got plenty of buying volume here on the 4-hour. Let's take a look at that 1-hour. 1-hour looking like you might break to the top side of our golden pocket here and try to get back up to that 10-cent range that I have marked out. That was a key area. Have we looked at LTC BTC? I have not. I can take a look at that after this. We got that 1-hour looking like it's got some stronger curvature back to the upside than the rest of some of these assets we had looked at. MACD already getting that curve back up. Prime oscillator quite cooled off here as we're trying to get back up to this golden pocket. Let's take a look at that 15-minute, see what the morning is bringing our way. Looking like we're going to do some more battle with that golden pocket, though. Shorter term time frames are waiting for strong money flow to come in. It has started to pick back up, but it is unable to get above that golden pocket. So to see us reject off of that golden pocket, really find some strong support down here at the lower levels where we made some equal lows here at about 819 would be a bit of a move to see there. Take out some of that liquidity to the bottom side and really get that strong move back up to our golden pocket. That'd be that nice move I would like to see. Cass will reject the weekly, I guess. I didn't even take a look at the weekly. Let's see. Yeah, looking like you might continue that downside. That weekly looking quite ugly. Getting that rollover on your prime oscillator with those divergences, not doing anything, and your volume being selling volume. So for the macro, I'd look back down at that. Maybe the midway between your golden pocket and your platinum pocket. Maybe test these lower levels here at 0.615. Caspa looking kind of ugly. All right. Thank you for dropping that Alex O crypto stream in the chat for me. Oh man, it will go on the hate list then. I'm sure you're talking about Caspa there. Memes killed Caspa. Yeah, they definitely did. They tried to launch those memes on Caspa to get a lot of that liquidity on Caspa, and it just destroyed it. They were unable to really launch, and it kind of shut down their blockchain for a while. They had to fix everything, and then Cass was never the same afterwards. So let's hop into that. You said LTC BTC. LTC BTC. Litecoin to Bitcoin. We had taken a look at that last week. Let's get that zoomed on in to a shorter term time frame. Take a look at that 4 hour. It does look like it faltered to get up to that area I was wanting to see to really continue that run to the upside. We are making a bit of some equal lows here. Might see that be some strong support to really continue up to the upside. Your MACD's got some more room to run to the bottom. Money flow looking like it's trying to find that bottoming point here, but your prime oscillator getting that nice little curvature back up with some oversold signals and some reversal signals starting to flash. So looking like it might make another higher low here. It is a very brief higher low than this last low. So to really find that strong money flow coming in, really break this 0016 would kind of be that first little level I would watch for. So if you can see this moving back to the upside here, getting bought up a little more heavily than Bitcoin does, you might see us try to get back up to this area we have not been at since March. So that'd be that first little area I would watch for. That kind of indicates a little bit of a alt run on some of these Dino projects, but you do see Bitcoin dominance trying to make a move back to the upside here, kind of faltering out back at that 61.5 cent range. So that's that first little area we will need to turn into some support. Bitcoin dominance is holding quite steady here in this range above 60%. So looking for that strong move back to the top side on Bitcoin dominance. Might see some of those Dino coins run along with it that got listed for that reserve. All right. Thank you for everyone that tuned in today. Oop, wrong button there. Thank you for everyone that tuned in today. I appreciate every single one of you. We say, Jesse says there is a one like needed. Who's the lurker? Uh, oh well, we're just one like shy of that 100% ratio. Well, hopefully someone hits that on the way out there. I appreciate all of you that tuned in today. I appreciate every single one of you for always chiming on in the chat, giving a lot of banter, keeping things alive. I will see y'all at that morning market report at 10 a.m. We won't have Piper. It'll be OC guy. So make sure to tune in. Give him some love. Give him a little bit of crap too. We'll see how degen he gets with that tinfoil hat today. Especially with the news that came out this weekend, you might see a little bit of some tinfoil hat on that morning market report. You got Trade Academy at 4 p.m. Make sure to tune into that one. We got that crypto nightcap. Actually, we don't have that crypto nightcap. I forgot all about that. I'm going to have to change my list there. We got Markets After Dark with Lunar Beaches Crypto at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Everyone, make sure to wake up because today's going to be a good day. So I will see y'all in Alex O Crypto in a few seconds.